CHYM 96.7 presents the John Tesh Radio Show, Intelligence for Your Life.
If it doesn't make you better, healthier, happier, or much more interesting, we just won't put it on this show. Special thanks to our lead producer and writer, Betsy Chase, and her team of researchers bringing us all this intelligence for your life. My name is John Tesh. If you need to make a tough decision, stay with me here because I have 3 tips to make it much easier, that tough decision. First, ask your polar opposite. Ask somebody who never agrees with you what they think about a situation. It's going to help you see things from a different point of view. I love that tip. You can also try closing your eyes. So Eugene Caruso is a behavioral psychologist. He says blocking out visual stimuli intensifies your emotional response to a decision and makes you behave more ethically. And then before you go shopping, say for a big ticket item, drink a whole bunch of water. Just pound water. Marketing professor Miriam Tuck says, it sounds strange, but people have more self-control when they're holding their urine. Yes, really.
Intelligence for Your Life with John Tesh.
And coming up, we all know we should work out about 3 times a week, right? But there are times when you have a free pass to skip the gym. I'll tell you in a moment when those times are, according to a professor of exercise science. This is CHYM 96.7, and I'm John Tesh. Of course, we all know you should work out probably at least 3 times a week, but there are times when you have a free pass to skip the gym. For example, if you have a cold with a runny nose or scratchy throat, getting your blood pumping may help you feel better. But Jessica Matthews, professor of exercise science at Miramar College, says if you're coughing or wheezing, you could have a serious infection. You could hurt yourself. Avoid exercise, let your body heal. And absolutely don't exercise if you're running a fever. Working out can increase your internal temperature and slow the healing process, make you much sicker. And if you show any signs of flu, like chills or body aches, hit the couch instead of the stair climber. And don't exercise if your muscles hurt from your previous workout. Exercise creates microscopic tears in the muscles, which trigger delayed onset muscle soreness, and you get stronger when those tears heal. But working out too soon, it's going to slow down that healing. And Matthews says exercising when you're stiff and sore is going to limit your range of motion. You could injure yourself.
The John Tesh Radio Show.
Intelligence for Your Life.
Coming up, are you an avid video gamer who avoids games that tap into your fears, like ones with depictions of deep water or spiders? There's good news. Several major companies have introduced safe modes designed to help people with specific phobias play their games. Fascinating piece, and it's next. CHYM 96.7. Listen on your smart speaker or chimefm.com. I'm John Tesh. Hey, do you love playing video games, but do you avoid the games that trigger your fears, like deep water, heights, or spiders? There's plenty of that stuff on video games. Well, video game creators, they're making a change. They've got your back now. Several companies have introduced, quote, safe modes to help people with certain phobias play their games. It's part of an industry-wide push to make games more accessible. It's similar to the way game makers let colorblind players change the game's colors. For example, PlayStation's Horizon Forbidden West recently added a safe mode for players terrified of deep water, or thalassophobia as it's known. In safe mode, your avatar won't run out of air underwater or hear anybody drowning. It came about when fans worried they wouldn't be able to enjoy or even play the underwater sections because of their fears. Then, for the 1 in 20 people with a fear of spiders, I'm there. Games like Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Hogwarts Legacy now offer an arachnophobia safe mode, which can eliminate details that make giant spiders terrifying, like stinging tails. So if you have a phobia, check for video games with safe modes. All right, here and now, Give Gerard, star of the Intelligence for Your Life podcast with Give Gerard. Check it out. It's amazing. You'll learn so much. You won't have to ever go to school again.
Please go to school.
Okay. Here's how to activate your brain's chill-out circuit from neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Newberg. You can do this instantly and you'll chill out. So MRI studies have shown positive words will always light up your brain's reward system, but complaints will activate that. They can actually cause, if you start complaining, it will create pain.
Yes.
So adding a spoken positive effect reduces stress hormones that produce relaxing, mood-boosting neurotransmitters.
Look, brain signal, pain, enjoyment, it all ends up going to the same central processing unit. This is why I saw a thing recently that Tylenol is actually helpful for emotional pain too, because there is a strong connection between our emotional reality and our physical reality, whether we like it or not. This is when you talk about The Secret, when you talk about thoughts become things, you talk about stoicism, you talk about, wherever your mind goes, so does your life go, wherever your tongue, the power of life and death is in the tongue. All of that is because all of these thoughts become your reality, whether you like it or not. So dwell on the positive, deal with the negative emotions appropriately, the same way you would deal with pain in your life, where it doesn't become the center of your life. It becomes the thing you have to deal with, because again, emotional enjoyment and physical enjoyment linked, emotional pain, physical pain linked.
You should do that telemedicine thing. You should be an online shrink.
Yeah. You need like certificates for that. You can't just be like a guy.
I got a certificate to marry people. I could turn you into a psychotherapist.
Want more motivation and inspiration? That's why we created Tesh.com.
For more dating and relationship files, ladies, let's find out if the man in your life is a keeper. Ask yourself these questions from Match.com dating expert Julie Spira. We have her on the show a lot. Julie says the answers to these questions will hold the clues to his keeper quotient. First, where does your guy sit when you're out on a date? If he sits facing the wall, well, he's making you the center of attention instead of facing the rest of the restaurant and people watching. He can check everybody out. Next, does he look you right in the eye? If he holds your gaze for long periods, it suggests he's confident and romantic. A guy whose eyes dart around the room, of course, may need constant attention. Next, how picky and fussy is he? If he makes excessive demands on the restaurant staff, fusses over menu choices, or figures the tip down to the penny, our expert says chances are he'll be just as stingy with his affection. The questions to ask yourself about the guy you're out with, according to our dating expert, Julie Spira.
IFYL. Intelligence for your life.
This is the John Tesh Radio Show, your new and improved life in about 2 minutes or less. Are you signed up for that Intelligence for Life newsletter? It's simple. Go to Tesh.com/newsletter. Get signed up, and once a week, I will personally send you the best of each week's intelligence so you can get encouraged, you can get coached to move forward in your life. I'm with you every day. Trust me. I'm learning every day. If you want to lead a life, speaking of moving forward, want to lead a life that makes you happy and proud, experts say you need to become fully engaged with something you're passionate about, because that alone can drive you to succeed. This comes from psychotherapist and creativity coach Dr. Eric Maisel. He says putting your heart and soul into a project, which he calls, quote, productive obsessing, can make the time fly. I know this feeling when I'm playing piano. It brings a sense of meaning and fulfillment to your life. If you don't have that kind of passion, you'll tend to get bored and listless and stuck in a rut. You'll also tend to give up on your goals and even start feeling blue. Bottom line, this is good, right? You want to succeed, remember this. It pays to find a goal with which you can become passionately obsessed.
Intelligence for your life.
And coming up, nobody gets hurt watching football on the couch, right? Well, according to the University of Alabama, being an armchair quarterback has its own set of risks, and you'll want to hear them next. I guess I just made an assumption that nobody gets hurt watching football, right? Well, Jody Gilchrist is a nurse practitioner at the University of Alabama. She tells us being an armchair quarterback has its own set of risks. First, hardcore fans have high levels of stress hormones. A cortisol spike during a last-minute comeback is expected, but research shows the adrenaline surge loyal fans get from anticipating a game can cause faster heart rates and higher blood pressure all week long. How about that? Football fans also spend a lot of time sitting, of course. It takes 3 hours to watch one game, and sitting for more than 2 hours a day, we now know raises our risk for everything from obesity to cancer. And once you add in the hours spent on fantasy football, which does average about 12 hours a week for true fans, the health risks jump dramatically. And then football fans really love junk food. It's why 1 in 4 hardcore fans gain 10 pounds each and every season. Now, it doesn't mean you have to stop rooting for your favorite team, but nurse practitioner Gilchrist suggests making a few healthy adjustments. Ready? Like taking a walk at halftime, or challenging yourself to knock out 20 jumping jacks whenever your team has a turnover or gets a penalty. I like both of those. And if you're managing a fantasy football team, she says, try doing it standing up. It'll help offset the health hit we get from sitting. Plus, research shows we do make better decisions when we're on our feet.
The John Tesh Radio Show.
Coming up, I'll share a memory trick that involves little more than sitting and zoning out for 10 minutes. Don't miss this. So when it comes to boosting our memory, new research we found for you shows the most effective tricks involve little more than pausing and thinking when you encounter new information. Now, I'll take you through this. If you need to memorize something, try reviewing the material and then just sit and zone out for 10 minutes. According to a study in the journal Scientific Reports, people who did that, quietly zoned out, had much stronger fine detail memory than people who immediately switched to doing other tasks. Researchers say This is because our brain keeps processing new information right after we learn it during immediate post-learning rest periods unless we distract ourselves with other activities. So, by sitting and thinking for 10 minutes, you're going to form significantly stronger, long-lasting memories about any new material. Another memory trick, try inspired thinking, where you challenge yourself to use new information in some way. That's according to Dr. Sandra Bond Chapman, director of the Center for Brain Health at the University of Texas. Don't miss this. She says, one proven form of inspired thinking is to think about how you would teach new information to somebody else. This is deep. It's also helpful to think about one simple takeaway message from what you learn.
Tell us what you think. Facebook.com/John Tesh.
Intelligence for your life. This is the John Tesh Radio Show on CHYM 96.7.
Here's one of those power tips from our friends at the Journal of Marketing. They found it's pretty simple. If you'd like to instantly eat less, just serve yourself more often.
Yeah.
Study found that when somebody else dishes up your food, whether it's your mom or the chef at a restaurant, you feel more obligated to eat what you've been given. That's
Exactly.
true.
And they're also going to feel more obligated to give you more because they don't want to seem stingy. They want to make you feel, I don't know about your mother, but with mine, food is love. So if the more she gives you, it's the more that you're accepting her love.
It's so true. We subconsciously make healthier choices and give ourselves 30% less food when we do it ourselves.
Yeah. Also, when you cook for yourself, you know everything that's in the food. You understand exactly what you're eating, the process that it takes. It's delayed gratification. I love this. Cook for yourself, serve yourself, and you can cook for others too. But I'm just saying, don't go. The less you go to restaurants, and the less you go, and you are having somebody else put the food on the plate for you, and where you don't know what's going into it, the better.
They say kids who serve themselves eat less too.
Oh, and kids that cook with you will eat their vegetables too.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing to do as a family to get the kids involved.
96.7. Listen on your smart speaker or chimefm.com. I'm John Tesh. All right, not to get too personal, when was the last time you washed your feet? Think about this. I mean, thoroughly scrub them from heel to toe and even between the toes. Wow. According to podiatric medicine specialist Dr. Thomas DeLauro, a lot of people think it's enough just to walk around in soapy water in the shower. That's me. But when you take the extra step to scrub your feet, Dr. DeLauro says you can prevent a whopping 75% of the most common infections. What's the best way to do it? Well, here you go. Just like with hand washing, Dr. DeLauro says a 30-second scrub with soap and water covering all areas of your feet and between toes is enough. And then thoroughly pat your feet dry because dampness attracts bacteria. Dr. DeLauro says consider alternating your shoes so you never wear the same pair 2 days in a row. The sweat from our feet normally needs more than a day to dry. So if you plunge your feet back into shoes you just wore yesterday, you'll risk exposing them to a fresh layer of active bacteria and fungi. I'm making every mistake that's listed in this piece.
Intelligence for your life.
Facebook.com/John Tesh.
Well, the therapists have weighed in, and now they're saying there's nothing wrong with loving romantic comedies. In fact, they are officially good for us. So cinema therapist Dr. Brigitte Walls tells us the typical romantic comedy has a happy ending, and that leaves you in a much better mood at the end of the film because the couple's problems are resolved. That happy ending also squashes stress hormones. In fact, the feel-good, reduced stress effect is so powerful, watching a romantic movie before bed can actually help prevent insomnia. Yes, it's official. There's nothing wrong with loving romantic comedies.
Tell us what you think. Facebook.com/John Tesh.
CHYM 96.7.
John Tesh with you with Intelligence for Your Life. As usual, if you have been more forgetful than usual these days, is that you? You may need more laughs. Listen to this. A study from Loma Linda University has now found laughing will enhance your brain function. For the research, one group of study subjects watched a short, funny video. Another group sat calmly with no video to watch. Afterward, all the participants were given memory tests and had their stress levels measured. The result, those who watched the funny video scored significantly higher on the memory test, while at the same time showed less evidence of stress. The researchers say, and I know this to be true from just performing on stage, the less stress you have, the better your memory will function. Okay, so here's the science. Humor reduces stress hormones in our body, which lowers blood pressure and sends more feel-good dopamine to the brain. So then that process increases gamma waves, which ultimately improves our memory and recall. So it's pretty easy to bottom line all this. Laughing is officially a brain booster. And now we have license to binge watch comedies or watch nutty cat videos.
Intelligence for your life.
Coming up, we'll help you earn some extra cash with the old junk laying around your house. Even if that old stuff is broken, I'll have a list of websites to sell your old stuff. Stand by. As you all know, there are lots of places online that'll help us sell old stuff and make extra cash. We've gone over many of them on this show. But what if your old stuff is cool, but it's broken? Well, fortunately, a growing number of websites will still accept it. For example, eBay says there is a surprisingly active market for broken coffee makers because even if yours no longer works, it may contain hard-to-find parts that can help fix somebody else's. The same goes for broken smartphones. Experts say even if your screen is cracked or you can't turn it on, the phone may contain valuable parts and metals that somebody will pay you to recycle. In fact, any electronic device that you can plug into a wall can probably help earn you extra money, no matter what condition it's in, including laptops, tablets, smartwatches. So before you toss your broken stuff, consider snapping a photo and posting it to sites like Gazelle, Nextworth.com, and eBay, because today there's a good chance somebody out there will still buy your broken stuff.
Intelligence for your life.
Coming up, are you starting to see a gray hair or two or 200? Don't panic. I'll give you ways to delay the gray according to University College London next. Okay, my intelligent friends, does it seem like once you see one gray hair, you soon see hundreds? Well, it turns out there's a reason for this. According to the British Journal of Dermatology, a gray hair's growth cells are twice as active as a regular hair's, so they do sprout faster. But gray hair is only 30% genetic. So just because your mom was totally gray by age 50 doesn't mean you will be. What else causes gray hair? Environmental factors. According to University College London, that includes diet, exercise, stress, and exposure to pollution. Those things trigger oxidation, which contributes to hydrogen peroxide accumulating in the hair follicle. So our hair essentially bleaches itself from the inside out. What can we do about it? Start by exercising more. According to McMaster University researchers, they found when mice got regular exercise, it almost eradicated graying. And when they tested the theory on humans, they found a similar effect. The amount of exercise that delayed graying was 45 minutes, 3 times a week. Also, smokers are 2.5 times more likely to have gray hair regardless of age. And one more thing, researchers tell us strict vegans may go gray sooner if they don't get enough B12. The best sources are lean meat, eggs, and salmon. In fact, one of the signs of a B12 deficiency is gray hair.
The John Tesh Radio Show.
The John Tesh Radio Show on CHYM 96.7.
All right, Gibber, ER doctors are calling up our office, our researchers, and they're saying, can you please talk about people needing to stop trying to catch the elevator after the doors start closing?
Oh, yeah.
So it turns out if you wave your arm or leg above or below the sensor, the sensor's not working, the doors are going to close. But now they want to tell us that elevators actually have 4 doors, 2 on the elevator itself and 2 on every floor, meaning it'll catch your arm or leg twice, making it twice as tricky to get it out. The ER doctors say the elevator door can crush, twist, or even amputate a limb that's stuck in the doors.
Have you ever seen the videos of this? And it's really bad if it's not your hand. If it's like you put your
you watch elevator accident videos?
Oh, yeah.
But go ahead.
The internet has everything. So let's say you're wearing a sweatshirt, as I'm wont to do, and you go to put your arm in, and it doesn't stop the doors, but the sweatshirt is stuck, and then the elevator starts going up, and it pulls you on the floor up to the top, and you're in your... There's all kinds of crazy, horrible stuff that can happen. Look, the sensors on the doors are meant to prevent it from closing on somebody. They're not meant to be a last-minute attempt to get into the elevator.
Whoa.
They are a safety measure that didn't used to be there. They used to have a person that would be there and do that, but now it's automated. And to your point, a lot of them have lasers now, but if you get your hand in the space between the lasers instead of the old rubber bar, then you're in bad juju, my friend.
Silly me, I didn't think you'd have a comment on this one.
You should share this on Facebook. The John Tesh Radio Show.
From our Success 101 files, you want to sound smarter, whether you're on a job interview or a date, avoid using these words. This list comes from Business Insider. The first word you want to avoid is really, as in, I really like that movie, or I really want this job. The experts say really is a filler word and unnecessary. It weakens your message. Simply say, I want this job. And say it like you mean it instead of using really to sound more enthusiastic. Also, stop using amazing so much. If a movie, a book, a donut, a pair of shoes can all be amazing, amazing just loses its value. One more. Skip the word maybe. It's not definitive. It makes you seem wishy-washy.
Intelligence for your life.
Facebook.com/John Tesh.
Welcome back to Intelligence for Your Life. John Tesh with you. Have you ever wondered why rents are so high these days? Well, Business Insider says one reason is because people have ditched their roommates, or everybody wants a one-bedroom apartment now. Basically, people want their own space. The trend started during the pandemic because when you're forced to convert your home into a home office, gym, movie theater, all of a sudden you crave more personal space. On top of that, recent college graduates have decided to move out of their parents' houses. Roommates have ditched their cramped quarters for places of their own, and couples have broken up and want separate places. As a result, between 2019 and now, rent in New York City is up a full 19%. Rents are up 17% in Chicago and 10% in Washington, D.C. That's why rents are so high.